Hello and welcome to All Top 5s. Area 51 is the common name of a facility in Nevada that belongs to the United States Air Force. The name Area 51 came from a CIA document used in the Vietnam War and stuck after that. The airspace around it is restricted, and the purpose of the base is officially secret, though there's some evidence of experimental aircraft and weapons testing. It's this veil of mystery that leads many to jump to conspiracy theories regarding what goes on in Area 51, some of them well known, some of them a little more unusual. Number 5. UFOs and Aliens. Let's get the obvious out of the way first. One of the most celebrated of all conspiracy theories regarding Area 51 is that of unidentified flying objects and extraterrestrial activity. There have been thousands upon thousands of reports of UFOs from Area 51 for decades, from UFO hunters and incidental bystanders alike. At such a remote location, the assumption that these craft are alien spaceships becomes even more likely. It's clear why this is such a popular theory. The base is known for its experimental aircraft technology and so-called black projects that aren't common knowledge. Eyewitness reports, photographs and so on spiked in the mid-1950s as the military began testing two new aircraft, the U-2 and the Oxcart. Commercial and civilian pilots near Area 51 would see the sunset bouncing off U-2's silver wings, giving it the appearance of flames, an unusual sight that triggered UFO reports very quickly. The Oxcart secret project that had nearly 3,000 flights also confused people. Its titanium fuselage was a wide disc built to carry lots of fuel, and it would often fly at dusk at around 2,000 miles per hour. Here's a view from the front. So with all that, it's no wonder that this aircraft was thought to be something extraterrestrial. And with all this supposed alien activity, it only leads into assuming contact with aliens could be possible at Area 51. In fact, it's believed by many that the secretive airbase actually collected crashed alien spacecraft in order to study them and attempt reverse engineering on the wreckage to learn and develop technologies from other worlds. One step further suggests the study of the alien crew members from downed UFOs, whether alive or dead. Yet another step further has people stating that perhaps Area 51 is a joint venture with extraterrestrials, where meetings between humans and aliens occur, and collaborations between the species are made in secret. One man, Bruce Burgess, claimed to be a retired mechanical engineer from Area 51 in the 1950s, and said he worked on a flying disc simulator based on crashed alien technology, and also that he works alongside an extraterrestrial telepathic translator named J-Rod. Another man, Dan Burish, also claimed to have worked alongside J-Rod while attempting to clone alien viruses. It's a prolific conspiracy theory with many parts to it, and with so many claims over the years, who's to say there isn't perhaps an element of truth in them? Number 4. Weather control. And this is where it begins to get a bit more unusual. There are those who believe that the US government is developing and testing ways to modify the weather, and that it's happening right now in places such as Area 51. Weather modification has long been an aspect of mythology and religion. The Vikings would refuse to take Finnish people on their raids because they believed that they could control the weather. Indigenous peoples of the Americas had rituals that they believed could bring the rains, as did ancient Indians. In Scotland, some women tried as the Berwick witches were found guilty of using their magic to attempt the murder of King James VI by causing a storm to sink his ship. But more recently, in the 60s through to the 80s, there's some evidence that the United States government was researching ways to weaken tropical cyclones using chemicals on board aircraft, and was known as Project Storm Fury. Various suggestions for how to stop hurricanes may also have been tested, but all this is in dispute. The conspiracy theory goes that the US government continued this research at the top secret Area 51 base, but with the intention of using weather control as a weapon. The reason it's kept a secret, so the theory goes, is because the United Nations actively prohibits the use of weather modification in a hostile fashion, which itself is actually true. An interview by the topical website Eco-Inquirer with an alleged Area 51 electrical engineer was quite a revelation. He claims there's an ongoing weather generator war between the US and Russia, resulting in Russia's hurricane attack on the US in 2005, Katrina that is, and the US's retaliation of unusually cold weather on Russia. The energy Area 51 uses to do this amazing stuff supposedly comes from the HAARP facility in Alaska, and that a morphing alien known as Alien Gore was involved in all the projects, bribing and blackmailing his way into politics. This engineer finishes by saying that this was all being dubbed climate change and global warming by world leaders in an attempt to hide the truth. Yeah, it's certainly an interesting thought, but there's no real hard evidence that Area 51 has anything to do with weather modding, or that the technology even exists. Number 3. Time travel and teleportation. Now we're entering the world of science fiction proper. Conspiracy theories that the government is researching and testing time travel and teleportation technologies are rife. And again, Area 51 comes up as a place of interest when discussing these topics. One writer and self-proclaimed physicist on UFO Digest claims that scientists finally created a time machine in an Area 51 laboratory sometime in the 20th century. He claims that they were able to cause an ion to move into the past and into the future, and that the government kept it secret with special 75-year patent laws. He goes on to state that personal enhancement devices that allow short-distance teleportation of a human being or advanced time machines that open wormholes with lasers are just old news, and that the government continues to operate this research far ahead of its time. There's no apparent evidence for any of this other than his word though, and he continues to talk about Area 51, saying it hid evidence of a commercial spaceflight between stars, featuring 4 trained monkeys back in 1961. I'll let you decide what you want to believe on this. Number 2. Exotic energy weapons. One theory for the existence of Area 51 is that it may be used as a development and testing ground for futuristic technology designed for warfare and perhaps even interstellar travel. Exotic energy weapons have been the subject of sci-fi films for decades, but the reality is that there just might be government initiatives with huge budgets researching these. Laser weapons may not be that far off, and with a military base like Area 51 shrouded in such secrecy, who's to say that's not the case? Microwave weapons, for example, are public knowledge already. The Bofors HPM Blackout is an extremely powerful weapon that uses microwaves to destroy electronic equipment at a distance, though it's supposed to be non-lethal for people, at the moment. Another one is the more sinister active denial system. This terrifying weapon beams a microwave directly at a human from afar. It heats the water in their skin and causes them unbelievable pain, leaving no long-term damage. It's currently used by the US Air Force Research Laboratory and US defense contractor Raytheon as a riot control device, controversially of course. There are dozens of laser weapons too that have been researched, and these are just the ones we know about. One made by Northrop Grumman tested successfully by the US Navy mounted on a ship. Although it was classified and we don't know the project's name, it was confirmed to have a destructive effect on a high-speed cruising target, with a range measured in miles, not just yards. That's one powerful, precise laser weapon. Another vague but unnerving project started by the US in 2013 is simply known as the Laser Weapon System. It's a directed energy weapon with devastating capabilities. If all these exotic weapons are publicised knowledge across the world, then it's fair to say that any black projects at places like Area 51 have the potential to be just as terrifying, and there are many who believe that they're far worse. Number 1. New World Order. Probably the most far-reaching conspiracy theory pertains to something called the New World Order conspiracy. Although there are many versions, all with conflicting arguments, they agree on this: the world is going to be controlled by a totalitarian, one-world government. Many of these conspiracies centre on an alien invasion, to put it bluntly. There's the Hollow Earth theory, where a race of reptilian creatures have lived in the Earth's hollow core, predating mankind and biding their time before emerging and destroying humanity. There's also the theory that aliens have been walking among us for centuries in disguise, but the world government have covered it up to hide the invasion from most of mankind, much like the Men in Black. The main New World Order theory goes that these aliens, wherever they're from and however long they've been here, have been manipulating human politics, economics and society both from behind the scenes and in positions of power. Some even believe that heads of state and big business people are actually shapeshifted aliens that are pulling the strings, preparing the world for the final part of the plan, whatever that is. Usually, it's said to be to exploit and control humans to act, in some measure, as a slave race for these alien overlords. Area 51 is supposed to play a big part in this, providing a secret base for the shadow government, often referred to as the Majestic 12, to communicate with aliens and aid their plans. It's said that Area 51 officials give permission to alien crews to abduct humans, in return for the use of otherworldly technology, which those in Area 51 then develop to create military flying saucers, in a bid to achieve total control of the battlefield, known as full-spectrum dominance. It's a big old theory indeed, and I've only just touched upon the main aspects of it, so apologies if it comes across as incomplete and odd. It is a particularly unusual conspiracy in its assumption of so many different unconfirmed parts though, but that's not to say that people don't believe it to be the case. As ever, it's up for you to decide. And that's it from all top 5s for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this look into the mysterious Area 51. We may never know everything that goes on there, but it's definitely good fun to speculate. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. The thumbs up on YouTube really does help me out, and you can subscribe for a new video from me every Tuesday. When you're discussing your theories and so on in the comments, just remember to be polite and considerate, and let's have a nice debate. Someone actually commented recently saying how they were so amazed that the comments on my videos are so nice, and I was really proud of that. So let's keep it up. Peace and love to each and every one of you, and I will see you all next time on All Top 5s.